All right, today we are analyzing the 2026 to 2027 secondary essay prompts for Stanford School of Medicine. When you're applying to Stanford, it's important just to note upfront that this is not just another medical school. It is probably best described as an ecosystem of sorts that demands innovators, leaders, people who will think across traditional disciplinary boundaries. And if their nearly 1% acceptance rate wasn't intimidating enough already, the sheer volume of their secondary essay prompts can also seem pretty overwhelming at first. We're talking about 8 individual responses ranging from 600 characters to 2,000 characters across the application. So over the years, we have helped students get into Stanford School of Medicine by approaching this mountain of prompts really efficiently and masterfully. And that is the approach that we're going to be sharing with you in today's video, just to really paint a clear picture of the future physician innovator type of applicant that Stanford is really looking for. So in this video, we're going to be using the 2026 to 2027 prompts. They rarely change from one year to the next, but if they do, we will update our guidance accordingly in the future. After we dive into these prompts, if you're ready to see how these strategies that we lay out in this video translate into full-length essays that impress AdComs, you can click on the link on screen to visit the Secondary Essay Premium Example Hub, and that houses all of the essays required by over 150 MD and DO schools. All right, let's get into it. So, first of all, we should clarify that there are several yes/no questions throughout the secondary application for Stanford. So I'll be skipping over those in this video and only covering the prompts that have essay responses. So the first of those prompts reads, what do you see as the most likely practice scenario for your future medical career? Choose the single answer that best describes your career goals and clinical practice setting. And then it gives you a list of options: academic medicine, clinical, academic medicine, physician scientist, health policy, primary care, public health/community health, and global health. And then it goes on to say, please describe your motivation for this practice scenario. Why do you feel you are particularly suited for this practice scenario? What knowledge, skills, and attitudes have you developed that have prepared you for this career path? You have 1,000 characters. So be aware, first of all, that this isn't just a list of career goals that they're looking for. So you want to connect your motivation to your actual preparation in prior years. So what specific skills have you developed that make you suited for this chosen setting? An example would be if you choose physician scientist, then your response should be rooted in technical methodologies that you've already made steps toward mastering, research opportunities that you've taken on. The committee really wants to see a roadmap rather than just kind of a blind ambition. So connect those dots between your past clinical observations and this specific career path that you're indicating, and also show them a strategy that you have sort of laid out for getting to that point. All right, so next up is prompt 2. It reads, how will you take advantage of the Stanford Medicine Discovery Curriculum and scholarly concentration requirement to achieve your personal career goals? Again, you have 1,000 characters. For this one, be really careful not to fall into the trap of being too vague. So the AdCom isn't just looking for a generic love letter to Stanford's curriculum. You want to identify a specific scholarly concentration track that aligns with your research. How does the flexibility of the discovery curriculum sort of enable a specific project that you are thinking about taking on or trying to build from the ground up? Show them that you have really done your homework by naming a specific initiative or a faculty member's research that will contribute to your growth, and then explain how you're going to actively utilize those resources and opportunities rather than just sort of passively absorbing them. Okay, for prompt 3, this one asks, describe in a short paragraph your educational and family background. And then they give an example. So one example could be, I grew up in New York City as the third child of a supermarket cashier and a high school principal. I attended Mann High School, where my major interests were boxing and drama. And they only give you 600 characters for this one, so it is brief. You have a pretty limited window, but try to think of this one as your origin story. So focus on environmental factors that built your work ethic, your worldview, your passion, whether you grew up in a city or on a farm or overseas. Just focus on those values that you inherited. So this is about wanting to show the AdCom that the human being that is within you, behind all of the metrics, has a specific story to tell. So you don't want to just summarize your resume on this one. It's okay if your response is longer than the example they give. Honestly, that one is pretty brief, but don't feel the need to get too in the weeds because your space is limited and you will have opportunities to pepper in some of those details in your other essays, or they may have already come through in your personal statement as well. So moving on to 4. Prompt 4 asks, how have your life experiences shaped your perspective on medicine, health, or patient care? And how do you anticipate bringing that perspective into our learning community? You get a lot of space to write here. Actually, they give you 2,000 characters. So it's safe to say that this is probably your most important essay. With those 2,000 characters, you can kind of think of it as a mini personal statement. So one thing to keep in mind is that we know Stanford really values interdisciplinary thinking. Are you a polymath? Did you combine a degree in English and a cool biology research project maybe? Or did you build some kind of community initiative? Maybe if you come from a community that lacks access to proper healthcare resources, how have those observations or experiences during your upbringing influenced your worldview? And how do you plan to sort of metabolize that experience into actual action at Stanford? So this essay should prove that your perspective is adding something to their campus culture, that you're not just going to be another face in the crowd. You really want to be a future leader who's going to help shift the culture of their school, even if in small ways. It doesn't have to be something huge and groundbreaking, but just something that's meaningful to you. All right, so for prompt 5, you are asked to please describe a significant contribution you've made to a community that matters to you. What role did you play? How did you influence others? And how did your actions create positive change? You have 1,000 characters for this one. So community is a really broad term here, and you want to focus in on where you have influence. So the AdCom doesn't just want to know that you belong to a group, they want to see how you actively contribute to it. So for example, did you address some kind of problem? Did you build something new? Did you foster connections between other people within that group? It might not be, you might not decide to actually write about something that you would normally include on a resume. You might not have even received any kind of recognition or awards for this contribution, but explain why this thing matters to you personally. And focus on your actions and the outcome. That's the most important part. So really try to demonstrate that you are the type of person who leaves a group of people better than you found it. All right, so moving on. For the next couple of prompts, we're skipping ahead past some non-essay questions in the secondary, just some of those yes/no questions. So your next written response will be to prompt 7, and it reads, what do you see as your greatest area for growth, and how will you address it? You get 1,000 characters with this one as well. And this is really similar. It reminds me of interview questions that ask about your greatest weakness, right? So you want to be honest here. Be honest, be candid, be humble. But instead of focusing too much on past failures, things that you messed up or you regret, focus more on your intentions and your actionable plans for growth and improvement. So for example, if your greatest weakness, or your biggest area for growth, as they say in the prompt, is confidence, like that you lack confidence, you don't want to spend most of the essay talking about how you really lack confidence and you struggle with anxiety, or you don't believe that you have what it takes to be a great doctor sometimes and you doubt yourself. To be clear, experiencing these things does not mean that you shouldn't be applying to medical school or that you don't have what it takes. I'm not saying that at all. But you don't want to give AdComs the wrong impression and leave them with too many gaps in the story that they then have to kind of fill in from their own imagination. So instead, it would be better to spend like the first 2 or 3 sentences maximum of your response explaining that you struggle with confidence, you often feel anxious, etc. You can totally be honest about that. But then you want to spend the bulk of the essay giving very specific examples of times, I would say within the past year or two, when you've intentionally stepped out of your comfort zone and started making progress in the direction that you really want to grow. So show that forward momentum and that trajectory that you are on now. And then the next part is really important too. You want to be sure to answer the final part of the prompt. How will you address your greatest area of growth as a medical student at Stanford? So be as specific here as you can possibly be. Obviously, you can't see the future. You don't know exactly what medical school is going to throw at you, but you can use your imagination, and get a pretty good idea. So try to think up a scenario that you are likely to encounter as a med student there, and then explain how are you going to prepare for it ahead of time? How do you hope to respond in the moment? And how will you reflect on it afterward in order to really internalize those lessons that you learned? Okay, moving on to prompt 8. It reads, please describe a time that you felt unfairly treated or judged and how you responded. You also have 1,000 characters here. And this one is pretty unique. We don't see a lot of questions like this super often in secondaries, but I think it's a really compelling one personally. There are a lot of different directions that you could go with it. But however you choose to approach, just be sure that you stick to what the prompt is asking you for, which is a specific time that this happened to you. So they're really clear that they want a story. They want to know what the other person did, or the people in the situation, what they did to make you feel unfairly treated or judged. And then very importantly, how did you respond to them? So it's probably best to pick a situation where you responded in a way that you can still stand by now. But it's also possible that you could respond in a way, you could respond with a scenario of about a time when you responded in a way that you wouldn't respond now because you've grown or you've learned something since then, and it was a learning experience for you. So depending on which of those you choose, you might want to write about a time when you were wronged by someone else, or you were the target of prejudice, or you were treated unjustly. And it could be something big or something really small that maybe someone wouldn't notice on the surface, but it affected you personally. The most important thing here is just that you can reflect on this experience meaningfully. And another way it might be helpful to think about this question, you could slightly reword it to be, in this situation, how did someone underestimate or misunderstand you, and what did you do about it? Like maybe you confronted them, maybe you didn't, maybe you had a meaningful dialogue with this person or with these people, or maybe you just internalized that experience and reflected on it and learned or grew as a result. So this could be a really good opportunity for you to set the record straight and explain how those perceptions of you were wrong, but also be careful that your response doesn't assume that the admissions committee is also underestimating or misunderstanding you in the same way, just because that could kind of come across the wrong way and maybe rub them the wrong way. But ultimately, the AdCom is wanting to learn a little bit more about you. They want to know also how you handle conflict, injustice, misunderstanding, because communication and conflict resolution, and obviously that commitment to doing no harm, those are all really, really important for a career in medicine. So this prompt is a really great way to show how you're actively developing those values. Okay, now let's move on to the final prompt, which is prompt 9, and it asks, please include anything else that will help us understand better how you may uniquely contribute to Stanford Medicine. And this one is optional. And you have 1,000 characters. The strategy when you're approaching this and trying to decide whether you should even write a response at all is value add. So if your essays in the previous sections tell a very complete story and there's not really anything missing from the picture, you can leave this blank. A blank page is going to be a lot more powerful than just a repetitive essay that kind of regurgitates all the same stuff that you've already been saying. So only use this if you have a really significant additive piece of information, like a research interest that aligns with a specific Stanford lab, or a very nuanced explanation of a gap that wasn't already addressed elsewhere. So just state that additive information, provide your evidence, explain why it's important to you, and just kind of let it speak for itself. Don't feel like you need to, go down the rabbit hole too much because you've already given them a lot of information with these other essays. All right, and that is it for Stanford. We made it through everything. And if you're looking to see what expert full-length responses to these prompts would look like, do be sure to check out the Secondary Essay Premium Example Hub. We have analyzed sample essays for every single prompt required by over 150 MD and DO schools that will really help you hone your writing. So take care and keep an eye out for more new videos on secondary essay prompts at other top med schools soon.